That way you have the chat up?
I do.
Okay. So, just killing time, everybody. So if you happen to chime in yet, we're about to start the show. Just kind of making sure everything is working right now, essentially.
Looks like we're live.
Making sure sound looks good. Cell phone's muted now. No one bothers me. Again. Jack in the box. All right. Let me close this program so it doesn't make any noise. Okay, there we go. And this last one. All right, guys.
We're live.
We're live. We're here. Hello, everybody. This is Aaron with Talkin Geek. We are on episode 13, season 1, and I'm here with the fabulous Robert.
I am fabulous. Fabulous.
So, we got a lot of news to cover, guys. So, we just want to make sure we give you the best news possible, and we're going to try to give you everything that we can this week. And always, what makes you geek, guys. On today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about Outer Worlds, some about YumiCon and a prize giveaway that we are doing. We got some talk about Google Stadia, as well as some cloud gaming platforms. The Black Widow trailer has dropped.
Yes, it has.
It was kind of good. We'll see. And then we have Hulk versus Wolverine news, maybe. Batgirl controversy came up this last week with DC. Spawn with Todd McFarlane, as well as the Mandalorian half-season review today. So it's 4 episodes in. We'll give you a little warning about it when we get into that part, because there will be some spoilers.
Yep.
And, of course, favorite geeky thing of the decade, guys. So what we think is the best geeky thing that all around of the last decade. So we're closing out 2019. It's a month away.
That's crazy.
It is. And just to let you know, guys, there's only 2 more shows for this year before we're done with this season. We will take a little break once the holidays come up. So, hopefully you can join us for the next couple more weeks, guys.
Yeah, man.
But first, I just want to talk real quick about Outer Worlds. It is up for Game of the Year for 2019. It is, essentially, to me, a better version of Fallout. It's an RPG game. You play
Shots
as
fired.
Oh, yeah. Totally fired, because I'm going to call them out on Fallout 76. So, I really enjoyed this game, guys. I really recommend it. Go to their website. If you have Xbox Game Pass, it is free. If you don't have it, and you're on PlayStation, or even on PC, you can technically use Game Pass.
Nice.
But PlayStation owners, you're going to have to go buy it on. But, highly recommend it. You start off as a character that's kind of lost in space. You get found, and there's some different factions that are out there that are trying to fight you. Do you help them? Do you, go fight them after all? Do you kind of get them to join your side? And you just go around exploring the world. A lot of craftsmanship. You pick up different weapons, level upgrades, different components. And everything you do affects the world around you, guys. So, like I said, like Fallout and all those other kind of games, Skyrim. This one, to me, though, it's for someone who likes to play these games but kind of gets lost in the sidetrack of all the side quests. This one's a little more compact. It's about, I believe the game itself is about 8 hours if you don't do side quests. I've talked to other people who've done all the side quests, and it was about a 30-hour game, I think,
Nice.
or so. So
That's
if you,
good.
yeah, I was like, cool. So maybe one day I'll actually go and conquer the rest of it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That sounds fun.
So, big news though today.
Well,
A lot of big.
yeah,
First we got to do.
Yeah, last weekend,
Yes.
Get Your Geek On, we were over at YumiCon, and, myself and Kristen were there, mingling with people, checking out the con. We had a booth there where we had a prize giveaway. So YumiCon attendees got a chance to fill out a raffle ticket. It was basically a free raffle. All they have to do is fill out the raffle ticket, obviously. They have to like our Facebook page and subscribe to us on YouTube to be eligible to win. So we're going to draw the winner live tonight right here. So I'm going to actually, one more time, to show you what you might have been missing if you weren't at YumiCon. This prize was worth around like $150. We've got like Spider-Man, Mario Brothers, Star Wars, Zelda,
Backstab card game.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z stuff, candy. I mean, who doesn't love some chocolate?
Yeah, there's chocolate down here that kind of fell out.
Yeah, this is a crazy bundle here. Basically, just completely free. So somebody's about to win this. So, Aaron, I'm gonna make you actually.
Now I'm gonna get yelled at because I'm gonna be like, why didn't you get
winner.
my name?
So we've got this right here. So I'm gonna make sure it's all, we're doing this, and Aaron's going to go ahead and reach in here, and he's gonna grab one. And we're gonna find out who our winner is right here live.
The winner is Cassandra Hansen.
Cassandra Hansen.
Congratulations.
So the raffle ticket number, in case you are looking for that, 853-8718. Yeah, Cassandra Hansen. So
as long as you know your name and you liked our page and subscribe, you're gonna get this bundle.
If you are watching, Cassandra,
thank you. First
off, yes, thank you for watching. Definitely reach out to us if we don't hear from you throughout the course of the live show. We'll message you afterwards and let you know. We'll get in contact with you and figure out a way to get this wonderful prize package to you. So congratulations, and thank you everyone that was there at Umicon for coming and talking to us. We're here to just basically promote a community of geekdom. Yes. So we are geeks. We run a show for geeks, by geeks. And that's really what we're all about. We just want to make sure that we have a community where we can talk about geeky things.
Exactly.
So, anyways, it was a lot of fun over there at Umicon this weekend.
It's a smaller convention from what I understand, right? It's not a big one.
It was very small. It was like one room almost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty small. There were probably maybe 25 to 30 booths in total.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
any cool artwork, anything did you see while you were out there?
I didn't get a chance to mingle a lot around the other stuff. I was, man on the booth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw some cool pieces, some cool cosplay. Definitely, there was a couple of cool Sailor Moon pieces.
Nice.
I'm not a huge anime guy, so I didn't recognize a lot of the stuff because I was like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
But it looked, it was cool. There was a lot of, cool stuff going on.
Nice.
There was a few cosplayers there.
Okay.
They had some panels going. I'm trying to remember I don't remember the name of the voice actress, but she's provided a lot of different voices. She was there.
Okay.
She was running a panel. I got a chance, and actually I think the video got posted.
Maybe.
of me having some fun with a sword. So they had like a little arena there, so I got to have a little fun doing that.
So if you haven't seen it on Facebook, guys, definitely go online, check it out. It's about just a little more than a half a minute, but it looked really cool. Like seeing it was you and Angel, and I don't know who the other guy was.
That was the guy that was running the booth, and I don't remember his name. Okay. Yeah, and that video unfortunately was not representative of the entire battle. It was like 30 seconds, and he got me right under here right away, and so that's a kill shot, right here, and so I had to sit out the rest. But we did it I don't know, 6 or 7 times. I got a few in where I won.
Nice.
Angel had a couple good ones, so we had a good time.
That's good. So, and were you guys there from open to close, or just for a little while?
So we were there. Yeah, we were there at open. I think the con started at about 11.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there up until about 5 o'clock. At that point, they started running a cosplay contest, and it was kind of one of those things where nobody new was showing up. So we had been there for a good solid 6 hours. We got a chance to talk to a lot of people, and so we cut out a little bit early. I think it was scheduled till 7, but we cut out at about 5 o'clock. I think we'd had a chance to pretty much talk to almost everybody.
Nice.
So we had a good time.
And this was at the Henry B. Gonzalez Center?
That is correct. Here in San Antonio.
Cool. Yeah. So guys, definitely check it out. Go to their Facebook page, Umicon. That's YUMICON.
That's correct.
So guys, go check them out. It sounds like you guys had a lot of fun though. I saw some of the pictures too. I saw a couple Spider-Man.
Yeah, there was somebody, Miles Morales. Spider-Man was there. There was definitely. It was a con. So it was bunch of geeks, bunch of nerds, hanging out and enjoying each other's company and talking about things that we're passionate about. So that's what we do. That's what we love to do.
Exactly. So. And I'm kind of jealous you got to do the sword thing.
Yeah,
that was cool. I saw that video and I was like, I want to do that.
Well,
that was really fun.
One day I can kick your butt at it.
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh yeah.
So, and some gaming news came out. I wanted to talk about a little bit. It's been out for a couple of weeks actually. The Google Stadia. It came out on November 19th. If you were an early access person who like bought the Founders Edition. I know you're not a big gamer, so essentially what this is though.
Tell me.
Is a Google Chromecast Ultra, a special one that you can stream games to. So you plug this device into your TV. When you buy the console, you get that and a controller, and that's it. That's your console. So basically, what Google is doing is you connect it to your Wi-Fi, and you're able to stream the video games straight to the Google Chromecast Ultra and play it using that controller.
Nice.
They've had some big claims that they were saying that it could play on computers, TVs, your cell phones, tablets, anything. That it was going to be anything and everywhere. They've kind of fallen short on a lot of it, though. So, like I said, it's a little bit older news because it came out 11/19. But the problem is that they haven't really won people over. So we have Stadia, we have xCloud Gaming, we have Shadow. All of these are different streaming services for video games, guys. So you can go check any of them out. And the problem is, though, kind of pricey. So again, with the Google Stadia, it's $130 for the package. That just gets you the controller and the Chromecast. And you can't just buy the controller because that Google Chromecast Ultra is a specific one made for this gaming thing. It's $130. The newer video games are about $60, let's say, depending on the game you buy.
Okay.
But, and here's the thing I don't like about it. If you want 4K gaming at 60 frames per second, they charge you an extra $10 a month for that.
Really?
Yes. So where if you already have like Xbox or PlayStation, if the game's already in 4K, you're not paying anything extra for the 4K access.
Right.
So that's their premium one. They do have a basic where you don't pay anything for it, but it's only at 1080 with, I believe, 30 frames per second, maybe 60 frames, but it's not the 4K that you can get on a console. So
how dare they only have it in 1080p high definition?
I just want to touch on it a little bit, guys, here, because like I said, we also have xCloud Gaming, we have Shadow, but definitely I want you to check out our future podcast that will come out this Thursday. It's going to be Gaming Geek. It's part of our Gaming Geek one that we're going to be doing. It's going to essentially just revolve around more video games than anything else. There might be a few board game talk here and there, but it is centralized on video game talk. So this week we will be talking about cloud gaming. So we'll be talking about a little more about xCloud, Shadow, as well as Google Stadia, and give you a lot more information on all three platforms and what I possibly feel might be the best one to go with at this time. So it's becoming a market actually.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, and unfortunately, those who don't have high-speed internet, though, if it starts going this route, you may have to start investing more and more into high-speed internets. So
tune in this Thursday.
Exactly,
right?
This Thursday. It should be up by 6 o'clock. By 6 p.m. It will be up there, and you can go listen to it.
So enjoy it on your ride into work Friday, maybe, if you don't get a chance to check it out Thursday night.
Exactly. Check it out Thursday night if you want. It'll be on YouTube, and of course, it'll be up on our podcast streaming sites. We will. Right now, we're on Google Play. We are on Stitch or Snit. I can't Stitch. I can't talk. Stitcher. And right now, and we should hopefully soon be on iHeartRadio, Apple, and a few others.
And how do you find it?
Well, you can go to our Facebook page.
Okay.
At official GYGO. It's on there, or you can just type it into your favorite podcast part, and you'll be able to look it up on Google like that, as well as the Stitcher and all those other ones.
Type in what? GYGO.
Official GYGO. I'm sorry.
GYGO.
Or Talkin Geek, because that's the name of this one.
Nice.
Gaming Geek will be under gaming. So Talking is TALKIN apostrophe Geek.
Talkin Geek.
Talkin Geek. And
do.
Gaming Geek is the same thing, but instead of a G, it's a little apostrophe.
Yeah, Gaming Geek.
So those will be all up there. This of course is up on Wednesdays mornings. We have this one up if you don't catch a live show, and Thursdays will be Gaming Geek.
Sweet.
So that would be fun.
Yeah.
Be fun. I hope you all enjoy it. Because I know
you can have a conversation with someone who knows a little bit about gaming.
Exactly, or it'll just be me. So it may just be me, which is fine.
Talking with yourself.
Exactly, talking to myself. Ooh. Exactly. Linkin Park.
Yeah, nobody cares.
No, Chester, I care.
A lot of people like Linkin Park. I just happen to not be one of them. That's cool.
Chester, cool. I care, bro. I care, man. So,
well, let's talk about the big news of the day.
Yeah.
Right. So
really
this
big.
morning,
yes.
Tuesday morning, Black Widow trailer dropped. So Black Widow is Marvel's next movie coming out next May.
Mm-hmm.
And they dropped the trailer this morning, so
Yes.
I know I had a chance to check it out. I assume you did too?
Yes, I did. That was like one of the first things I did right after I dropped my kid off at school. And I just got done working out. I was like, what? So I started watching it.
Yeah, I saw the notification that had come up this morning, and I was getting ready for work, and I was like, I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna watch it on a bigger screen than my phone. So I saw it. What'd you think?
I've already said on Facebook, so if you follow me on any of my social medias, mostly Facebook right now, I made a comment. I liked it. It looked cool for action. I just hope they have a good story behind it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be just pure action only.
I mean, it looks like a spy thriller.
Yeah.
Which, is what Black Widow is. So, I mean, I was really intrigued. I mean, so this is the first trailer. So trailers are always going to be, kind of light on story. They're going to show you a few cool visuals. And then it's going to be, just... they're not trying to give the game away. They're not trying to tell you everything. But they establish, where we're at. Obviously, we see... the trailer starts with some clips from other movies. We see clips from, I think...
Avengers 1,
the first Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Endgame for sure. I'm not sure if we see anything from Infinity War.
I couldn't tell.
We definitely see something from Winter Soldier.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean they're showing clips of Black Widow through the other movies.
Yeah.
And obviously this is her first solo movie that she's getting now. And then we see a lot of really cool imagery. We see there's a voiceover. There's obviously a conversation with Thaddeus Ross, William Hurt returning. So I didn't know he was going to be.
I didn't know that either.
And actually, he looks de-aged further than he was even in the first Incredible Hulk movie. So I think perhaps we're going to get kind of a prequel-ish scene like we've seen in other movies like with Ant-Man where they had that Michael Douglas scene where it was early, like set in the late 80s, early 90s, that kind of thing. I think we're going to get maybe something where, she's actually now becoming a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Yeah. And I think maybe it starts with that process. I think that might be something that we see. So that makes me think maybe we will actually get Hawkeye in this movie. I didn't think we were going to.
I hope so.
But that's making me think that maybe they'll tell us a little bit about that timeline. So that, I don't know. I mean, obviously, we can see Thaddeus Ross in this movie. They haven't, I don't know if it's official that they've confirmed Robert Downey Jr. is returning.
I thought they said he did.
I know that it was mentioned. He's listed on IMDb as part of the cast. But I don't know for sure that he's going to be in it or not. So, I don't know. Is there anyone else that you are thinking they might pull into this? Nick Fury, maybe?
Nick Fury, maybe, because that would be the way you would tie her into S.H.I.E.L.D. and tie up all the loose ends.
And she's really connected to Nick Fury. Certainly by the time, Avengers and Winter Soldier come around. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I'm hoping he's going to come out. Like you said, Robert Downey would be nice. Because so you have the overlay of her talking. She's obviously talking about, like, her past. Yeah. And at one point, it makes it sound like you said, might have some prequel shots, and then maybe some more, like, after a certain movie shots. Yeah, because she made that one comment, like, after I joined a team or something. I can't remember what it was exactly.
Yeah, well, that's actually, a lot of it was dialogue from Endgame, where she talked about how, before the Avengers, I didn't have anything, and then I had this job, then I had this. And that's pulled directly from Endgame. Okay. I think they add in a little bit of dialogue. It's not all from Endgame. Mm-hmm. But definitely, and the movie we know is set between the events of Civil War and Infinity War. Okay. So it's going to pick up after she betrays Tony at the airport, letting Cap and, the Winter Soldier go. Yeah.
So I guess maybe when she gets fired or exiled from S.H.I.E.L.D. maybe after that.
Right. They have that kind of conversation where Tony says, they're going to come for you now. Yeah. And so clearly from that point she decides, whatever it is, she takes off. She ends up eventually with Captain America because by the time we see her next in Infinity War, she's part of his team. Exactly. But there's a gap there where we don't know exactly what happened. I think this movie's telling that story.
So I mean, I doubt it, but it'd be cool to see Chris Evans come back for like a scene or two at least. But I doubt he would.
Sounds like from everything he's said, it does not sound like he's looking to return to that character.
Yeah.
I think he really likes the way it ended.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that he would come back just for a quick like, hey, I could see again, part of that team in Infinity War, you've got Scarlet Witch is part of that
Scarlet
team.
Witch.
And Anthony Mackie's Falcon.
Right.
And then, Ant-Man and Hawkeye end up, on house arrest. So it's that small group. It's just those three, I think, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, and Cap. And so I could see maybe at the end of the movie, her joining up with that team by connecting with either Falcon or Scarlet Witch. I don't think it's going to be Chris Evans, though.
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting. So I know I showed you a couple of screenshots, and I know you liked one of them.
Well, so in this movie, and we already knew this, confirmed, we've got Taskmaster.
Yes.
Is going to be in the... And so actually, this screenshot that you pulled of Taskmaster shooting bow and arrow, that, again, brought me some Hawkeye vibes.
Oh,
because Taskmaster, his superpower, if you want to call it that, it's not technically a superpower, is basically, perfect memory reflex, physical. So, people... he's almost like a learning AI. Like, everything that you do, he can then copy, he can mimic it, and also anticipate what you're going to do.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting. In the comics, I think he usually has to come in contact with the person. Like, he can't necessarily just watch a video of them and do it. It's changed.
Yeah.
Sometimes he can, sometimes he can't. So it'll be interesting to see how they portray it in the movie.
Yeah, it's all about the writer at that point. I think they've eventually labeled his powers photographic muscle memorization, I believe they called it.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, essentially he has to at least see the moves being done by that person, and then he can do it. So he can, in theory, watch a jiu-jitsu person do all the moves, and after that he knows everything about jiu-jitsu.
Correct. And that doesn't mean that he's able to physically perform all the same feats. Like, he could see Thor do something. That doesn't mean he could do, throw Thor's hammer. But he could perform the physical moves. And so that's why with someone like Hawkeye, again, with this screenshot in particular, if he's seen Hawkeye shoot a bow and arrow, then he can shoot a bow and arrow as good as Hawkeye.
Exactly. So that's what makes him, and that's what makes him deadly.
Right.
Because in the comics, he took on Captain America's basically abilities.
Right.
So he carries usually. That's what's kind of interesting. He's not carrying his normal sword and shield, which he usually has.
The shield is in one shot.
Oh, is it? I didn't see it.
So there's the shot of him fighting the Red Guardian, and there's a shield on the ground in the background. So this is from that same scene. It's not the one where you can see the shield.
Yeah.
The shield is to like Taskmaster's right.
Okay.
In this one, and it's just on the ground. So, don't know if it's going to be a big plot point. But yes, Taskmaster does have a shield.
I just want to see it. It's just one of those. As a comic nerd, you want to see it.
Sure. Well, and his costume, and we should say his or her. They have not revealed who the actor in the Taskmaster suit is, and it's possible that it's Rachel Weisz's character.
The sister?
Not the sister, the other one. So the sister is played by Florence Pugh.
Okay.
And then the other, the four that are sitting around the table that are family.
Oh, the mother or somebody. Right?
Yeah, that's Rachel Weisz, who is.
Okay.
So there's multiple Black Widows. That's
right.
That's a title. It's a something that is bestowed upon you as you graduate from the Red Room.
Right.
In this universe, right? And so Rachel Weisz, Florence Pugh, and Scarlett Johansson have all been graduates of the Black Widow program. There's a really cool scene where you see her fighting Florence Pugh, and they're using the same exact moves. And so,
that was cool.
And so definitely you can see that they train them similarly. They get the same type of training. It'll be interesting. Again, I'm trying to think. They haven't said who actually is Taskmaster. Could it be Rachel Weisz? I have a feeling that she is going to be an antagonist by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I did like that. You commented on it once, and we saw the little fight scene, but we do have the Red Guardian.
David Harbour.
I loved it when I saw this suit come out.
The suit is great.
I loved it.
It's perfect. And yeah, he is basically Russian Captain America.
Yes, he really
Red
is.
Guardian.
I'd be Russian.
But yeah, I do. I really liked him in this trailer. I thought the costume in there and just kind of his attitude, you know.
Cotton fat.
Yeah, right. Well, and he's doing the, you know, it still fits, you know,
still fits. That was so funny.
And you see a couple cool shots of him. So yeah, we don't really see much. We do see a cool shot of Black Widow in a white suit.
Yes,
so
she does the superhero cool. Landing like everybody else.
Yeah, Deadpool superhero landing.
Really bad on the knees though.
Yeah, well, you know. So yeah, I really like the trailer. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a spy thriller action movie. It looks pretty cool.
It does. I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks like it's going to be fun. I want a little dialogue. I want a little story. And I hope it's just not going to be, how much action can we just throw in this?
And remember, we're 6 months away from this movie, 5 months away. They're not going to give that to you right now.
Oh, no.
You know, we'll get it. But the first trailer is all about visuals. It's all about showing you a few cool action scenes, kind of setting the groundwork. So I think it did that very well. I don't think I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
I don't think that character that she calls Sis is actually her sister. I don't think so. But
I really don't.
If you recall in Endgame, you know, when Black Widow is on Vormir with Hawkeye and they see the Red Skull, he makes a point to mention, you know, daughter of Ivan. You know, and so do you think we're gonna? I mean, obviously they name drop. You know, hey, we're family.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna actually see who her parents are? Do you think we're going to see Ivan in this movie?
I think what they're gonna do. See, and that's the whole thing. That's just one thing that I will say. I don't like prequels. I've never been a fan of them. So
this is an interquel. It's in the middle of some of these movies.
It's somewhere here.
I don't like the fact that we already know she's dead.
Exactly.
By the time we're getting this movie, that makes there's no stakes for her character in particular because we know that obviously she cannot die in this movie unless you're going to tell us that the Natasha that died in Endgame was a clone or
a life model decoy.
We're going to totally retcon that movie.
Right?
I don't think they're going to do that.
And I think that's like, this movie's going to suffer from what almost every Superman movie suffers from, and that's the Superman complex. Essentially, you're going to have this character who has to destroy the world, but you know that they can never destroy the world. They never can win.
Right.
Superman's never really in danger. And in this case, she's in that same bubble. Right. She's never going to be in danger. She can't die, obviously, at the end of this movie. No. She can get hurt. She can, everything else, but she can't, come back losing a limb. She can't do any of that because she can't get hurt. Right. We know how she looks when she dies. So that's the one thing I'm worried about is that they're going to try to throw Ivan in there, and it's going to just feel off. Because it would be cool if they could have thrown him in as, a lead up to another film. Oh, okay, so here's the main here's one bad guy, but there's somebody above him, and it would be Ivan, who is doing everything her dad. But you can't really set that up unless they are going to do 3 prequel movies kind of things, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I don't know if they'll do any more movies with Scarlett Johansson, but I could see them spinning this off into a different Black Widow, basically.
Yeah.
Where.
What the hell? Yeah, you can still hear us, hope everybody, but we just lost video for whatever reason. I'm fixing that now.
Video's down. That's okay. We're coming back up. I promise. So yeah, interesting. I think that we could see more Black Widow movies, but not with Scarlett Johansson, with one of the other Black Widows that we see in this movie. So.
And I agree. I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be something like that instead. So, yeah, it's coming back on.
Okay.
Hopefully. So again, you guys can hear us. I am so sorry if we just lost our video feed for a minute.
How dare you?
Well, I don't know what. There you go. We're back. See, look. No problem. So again, sorry if you are watching live. I'm fixing it right now.
Fixing it. We're coming back up. Here we are. So, any other thoughts on Black Widow trailer? Are you ready to move on?
Widow, nah, I'm good. I think I've said my piece.
Yeah.
I want it to be more than just an action movie, but like you said, first trailer. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We definitely will.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think that, and I believe, and I'm gonna pull this up because I want to get it right. This is, I believe, the MCU's first movie that is being directed by a female director solo. Captain Marvel did have, I believe it was Anna Boden, co-directed with Ryan Fleck, but Kate Shortland is directing Black
Oh,
Widow.
nice.
So the first solo female director of the MCU for the first, the second now solo female MCU movie after Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
so,
but Black Widow's still more badass than Captain
Marvel. Well,
just saying, I'm throwing those gauntlets.
I mean, Black Widow. Okay, let's have this debate real quick.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, the reason Black Widow is more badass, and I'm gonna agree with you, is because she's just human.
Yeah.
It's the same reason that Batman is more badass than Superman. Superman has all the powers.
Yeah.
So, of course he can do all those things.
Yeah.
Batman's just a guy who invents stuff and runs around. He's just a dude. So, yeah, Captain Marvel has, like, the powers of a god.
Yeah.
And so, she's awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong,
yeah, Black Widow's she's just a human.
Exactly.
So, that, in my opinion, makes her infinitely more badass. Plus, Scarlett Johansson has been with us for almost 10 years now.
Yes.
Iron Man 2 in 2010 was her introduction. So we've had a ton of movies with her. And I think she's given great performances. Black Widow doesn't always have great stuff to do in all of the movies. But I think Scarlett Johansson has always given that character a lot of depth.
She always comes in at 100%. No matter if it's a 5-second roll, 10-minute roll, she's always at 100%.
Yeah, I think she's
And I respect that.
Really good.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you on that one.
All right.
So, moving on from Black Widow, though.
Yeah, let's move on. Staying with Marvel. So, this is the Tokyo Comic Con that happened recently. Mark Ruffalo was there in Japan, and he was talking about the MCU. And, he was basically talking about how he had recently been talking with Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios. And he was asking, Kevin Feige was basically asking him, what more do you want to do? They've been talking for years about how they had the kind of Hulk storyline that started in Avengers.
Yeah.
And it was a multi-story arc across Avengers Age of Ultron, across, Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War, and then Endgame. It was kind of this full arc for the Hulk. And so where we left him at the end of Endgame is, of course, he's still around. He's now Professor Hulk, or Smart Hulk, if you want to call it that.
He's not Great Hulk, though.
He's merged, the Hulk and the Banner personas into one.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people have been talking about where do you go from here.
Yeah.
And so I think Feige and Ruffalo had that conversation too. And Feige basically said, hey, is there more you want to do with this character? I think Ruffalo's contract is up. He doesn't have to do any more movies.
Yeah.
But he's talked before about how he likes the character of the Hulk. He wants to keep doing them. So they kind of talked about what would that be. And, Feige asked him, hey, if you've got storylines, come pitch me.
Yeah.
And the one he mentioned was Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yes.
And we have Wolverine now in the Marvel Universe. They own Fox.
Come back, Hugh Jackman.
I don't think he was coming back. But, that was actually, I believe, Wolverine's first appearance was in a Hulk comic.
Yes, when he had more of the cat look to him, actually.
So it'll be really interesting. Obviously, that they have not confirmed anything. They have not said they're going to do this. But I thought that was pretty cool that, Mark Ruffalo, the character or the actor who plays the Hulk, was saying, I want to do a Hulk versus Wolverine movie. Will they be able to make it work? I have no idea, but I'd be down for it.
I hope so. So, if you know the comics, there actually is. I don't know if you had a chance to ever look into this. It's an old series. There is a X-Men or a Wolverine versus Hulk movie or comic book. Yeah, it was supposed to be 5 issues. It got canceled after the 3rd issue, though.
That was the one that was in the mid-2000s? Is that the one that started off with Wolverine basically being ripped in half?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a smell. He's like, he threw my legs.
Because, Hulk rips him in half and, throws his legs. And so Wolverine has to crawl back to his legs so that he can heal and be Wolverine again.
Yeah, that's the comic. They never finish it. So it'd be kind of cool if they could do the movie and kind of, show that scene and finish everything. Yeah. Because the only other time you hear about it again in the comics is when Wolverine comments, he threw my legs up a mountain. It was a mile crawled or something like that. And you just see the reminiscence of him crawling. Yeah. But they never finished the comic, and he never finishes what happened between them two.
Well, and there was an animated movie of Hulk versus Wolverine as well, I believe.
Yeah,
I did not see it, so I don't know if it's any good.
It was okay. They brought in the whole, what do they call X? What is he? Weapon X. They brought in the whole Weapon X program. So they brought in the Constrictor guy, the Red, Omega Red. Deadpool, Domino, I
Nice.
believe, and like one other person. And so it became a whole thing because it was kind of funny. At one point, you still have Wade Wilson as Deadpool running his mouth about to Wolverine. So it's really cool. It's real fun. I enjoyed it. I would like to see it on real screens, or big screens. It'd be nice. So that would be cool. But and that's cool that Mark Ruffalo. I mean, again, the character technically it's all CGI, so he doesn't have to do as much work technically when it comes to like the physical like fighting scene. So that's good for him. He can kind of take that sidestep, but he can stay acting as Bruce Banner and be an amazing Bruce Banner, honestly.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if they go down the road of separating those personas out again,
Exactly.
or if they keep them together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. I'm really hoping it's gonna go somewhere with that. So it'll be fun.
So
but
let's move on.
Yes,
we're gonna talk a little bit. So there was some controversy this week.
Yes.
Around a Batgirl cover, I believe.
Yes, you are.
Tell me a
correct,
little bit
sir.
about it, because I don't know much.
So up on your screen right now, if you are watching us live, we have "The Future Is Young." It is the. Let me go over here so you can see it better. It's the one of the story arcs that's going on right now in Batwoman, with Frank Miller writing it and J.R.J.R. is drawing it. As you can see, kind of the artwork is his style, but she's throwing a Molotov cocktail with that quote specifically in the back. The future is young, and it caught controversy because right now we have a lot going on in China. If you don't know, China's kind of having their protesters come out.
Well, Hong Kong.
Or I'm sorry, Hong Kong. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Hong Kong's having that, and their motive or their weapon right now of choice is kind of the Molotov cocktail, and their slogan is "The future is young."
Mm.
So DC kind of got heat for it because it seems like they are pro Hong Kong right now. So don't know how I feel about it because
well, and they kind of they pulled it down. They self-censored and pulled that off of the cover. They put a different image on the cover. They said it's still going to be in the comic itself.
Yes,
that panel will still be in there. But obviously, by pulling the image, then they got backlash from the other side. People saying, now you're self-censoring, and you're doing this. You're doing this because you want, you don't want to alienate the Chinese market and all this. And I don't know. I'm not going to offer up any particular thoughts other than to say that, democracy is a good thing, and so we should be pursuing that all over the world.
I mean, and that's. I was gonna say this. No matter what you do, you're going to offend somebody. You're going to screw up somewhere.
Sure. And
let's face it, Frank Miller and J.R.J.R., they probably weren't thinking 100% too. I mean, who knows? I can't speak for them.
Frank Miller's 100% focused on it, offending as many people as possible.
I mean, yeah, he probably is. He's probably like, I'm going to offend somebody. Who can I offend today? Well, Hong Kong. Yeah, let's offend somebody now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never know. Maybe he was trying to be political about it. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe because I haven't read the comic right now with Batwoman in it.
Yeah.
This is going to be The Dark Knight Returns. The Golden Child is the name of the comic. If you have been keeping up with the Batwoman ones, let us know what you think. Is there a story arc that this is leading to that they maybe accidentally didn't think about it, or is Frank Miller just trying to upset people and though?
His work has been very political in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's not like this is something new for him. That is
true.
It's kind of what he does. So, maybe he's making a political statement. Maybe he's not. Clearly DC felt like they didn't want to have that controversy.
Yeah.
And so they decided to pull the image. I guess we'll see what happens.
We will. And you know what? No matter what, it got people talking about DC Comics again.
It sure
and
did.
That's what they wanted. Just like people are talking about Spawn again.
Spawn!
So... So if you haven't been keeping up, there's been a Spawn remake in the works for, a decade, if not
At
longer
least,
or so.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to know, is it going to happen? Todd McFarlane vows to get the Spawn reboot made with or without studio backing, he has said.
And McFarlane is the original creator of Spawn.
He originally was created Spawn, and he actually started his own comic book because he wanted to keep the rights to Spawn so Marvel wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
So he left Marvel, created his own studio, created Spawn,
and I think he's planning on directing this Spawn movie as well, right?
He is.
Yeah.
Let me see. So he is quoted as saying, where did he put it? Either way, the movie's coming. The comic icon filmmaker continued. It's not an if, it's a when. I just think that it would be better for the process if we could attach one of the studios in advance and then go put it out, because then we'd be able to make an announcement of the release date and a couple of things that matter to the fans, knowing that it's coming instead of making it and then trying to get the release date later. So he is, as you can see, he is going to do it, guys. He is gung-ho. He loves Spawn. That's his baby. That's his child, essentially. Yeah. Probably his most iconic character he's ever created next to Venom itself, that he co-created.
Yeah.
It's awesome that he's still doing this, though, guys. Like I said, it's been a good decade, I remembered at least, that he's been talking about a Spawn movie coming out.
And according to this article I'm reading on IGN, apparently Jamie Foxx is going to be Al Simmons, Spawn, as well as Jeremy Renner, supposedly going to be in this movie as well. So Hawkeye himself making another appearance in a comic book
crossover.
movie.
Wait a minute. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of names attached to it, coming and going. And like he says, it is better to get that studio backing, because then people are going to want to fund you. They're going to want to be there to help you. And when you don't have all of that and you're a smaller studio, essentially, if he has to make his own studio to make the movie, it'll be interesting where it goes. I hope we've had Lionsgate in the past make some movies, and I believe
every studio's out there doing that.
Who did the original Spawn? Was it Lionsgate? No,
I don't know.
I don't think it was Lionsgate. Now that I think about it. But definitely, guys. So we still got Spawn. For any of you Spawn fans, I'm a Todd McFarlane fan. I love his artwork. I love where he goes with his storylines with the Spider-Man shirt I'm technically wearing. I didn't even realize it. Is the Todd McFarlane cover.
Nice.
So if you remember his Spider-Man run, the Amazing Spider-Man run he did, where he essentially created Venom. So he's done a lot of work in the comics, guys. He's very relaxed, very chilled. I've got to meet him in Dallas a few years ago. I actually asked him a question about Venom at the time, and we both kind of agreed where it was going was not a good place, we thought.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to talk to him. Really nice guy, really chilled. So definitely, guys, keep your eye out for any more Spawn news, because I'm sure it's going to be coming. When you got Todd McFarlane behind it, he is very gung-ho about getting things done.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. The other thing is, I know we're halfway through it.
Halfway through.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And as we said, we're going to talk a little about it. So
do a little half season review here.
So
we are going to talk spoilers.
Yeah, so there's a
for
spoiler
the Mandalorian.
Right now,
yeah,
you might want to stop listening for just a moment.
If you haven't watched it, if you're not caught up, tune out, put it on mute.
Yeah, I'll wave or something when you can come back if you're watching us live. So 4
episodes in.
Yes.
Overall thoughts.
This actually brought me to like Star Wars again.
Yeah.
And I've said this to you before on and off camera. I don't like that we always talk about Skywalker. I'm happy we have a Mandalorian, and we're seeing what's going on with the rest of the universe essentially right now. Well, at least another part of it. Yeah. So I'm enjoying it. What about you?
So I'm hit or miss. I really like the character of the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Baby Yoda. Obviously, who doesn't? But I do feel, and I felt especially with this most recent episode, it feels kind of, I don't know, inessential, I guess is the word that I would say. Like, I don't know what they're trying to, like, and especially this most recent episode where, they're kind of in this small village, and it's almost like a Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven type of... hey, the villagers that are being raided and they need someone to come in and protect them, and they don't really have enough money, and it's a very Western trope.
The overplayed storyline at that point.
And it also, we know that we're only halfway through the season, right? And so a lot of those movies that I just referenced, like Seven Samurai or Magnificent Seven, there's kind of that character that you end up connecting to, the outlaw connects to one of the villagers. And we get that storyline in this one, where the Mandalorian is kind of connecting to the widow, right? But we know there's another whole half a season coming, and there's no way he's going to stay in this village for the rest of it. And so, to me, as I was watching it, I was going, all I know is by the end of this episode, there's going to be bounty hunters on their trail, and they're going to have to leave again.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it just felt very kind of like I wasn't crazy about it. I like the action. I like a lot of the characters. I don't know. I didn't care for the Gina Carano, the shock trooper that was introduced in this most recent episode. How did you feel about it?
So I kind of felt the same way you did. I was like, he's not going to stay. The whole I'm leaving Baby Yoda. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Oh, there's the guy that's going to
because we need Baby Yoda.
Exactly. Everybody loves him. He can't leave.
No.
This episode did feel that way, but I did like the fact that a shock trooper kind of took him down. They were pretty much even in fighting style.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Throughout this entire show, he continues to not be like he gets beat all the time.
Yeah.
And so, that did give us maybe the internet's best new GIF as they like lie with their guns against one another, and then you see Baby Yoda being like,
just sipping the tea.
What's up, guys? I do love Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda's so funny. I like how he just looked. You want some soup?
Right.
Like that's it. Like okay, cool, we're good.
Hey guys.
I would go ask my money back from that bartender though, because he said to watch Baby Yoda, and she didn't do it.
Yeah, but how many times does Baby Yoda like sneak off on him too?
That's true too.
Where like that even happens, he's like, wait here, and then the door opens, and it's like, there's Baby Yoda, so I guess he's coming with.
All right,
like,
come on.
So I mean, I don't know that I can really throw shade at the barkeep. You know, Baby Yoda's he's shifty.
He is shifty.
He's awesome.
I mean, I enjoyed the episode for what it was. You know, like I said, I like the fact that he is just a regular guy. I didn't get, now maybe it's just because I don't know much on the whole history of everything, or maybe I just missed something. He took his mask off to eat food. Was that supposed to be a symbolism with all the kids there or something? Because I didn't catch it, why that seemed like they focused on that for too long.
So I think, and they've made this a focus of the series, and so yes, I am the Star Wars nerd, the Star Wars geek. I've seen a lot more things than you.
Oh, heck yeah.
So they've made this rule, and they've talked about it a lot in the show about not taking your helmet off. You don't take your helmet off in front of other people.
Right.
That has not always been the case with Mandalorians.
Okay.
If you look even at the original the prequel series with Jango Fett, where he's in Mandalorian armor, he takes his helmet off all the time in front of other people. If you look at the Clone Wars series, there's multiple episodes with Mandalorians. They take their helmets off in front of each other all the time.
Right.
In Star Wars Rebels, one of the main characters is a Mandalorian. She takes her helmet off all the time. So I think they are going to show us somewhere in this, sometime between Star Wars Rebels, you know, and this show, which takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. We keep hearing about, you know, I can't remember if they called it the Purge or what they called it, but it was clearly the Empire basically did something with Mandalore, and it divided the Mandalorian people. Half of them sided with the Empire, half of them sided on the other side. Not necessarily with the Rebels, but not with the Empire.
Yeah, we're just not with you.
And we don't necessarily know. This seems like he's part of the remnant that didn't side with the Empire. But I don't know that for sure. It could have been he was part of the other side. But whatever happened, that is now obviously part of their credo, that we do not take our helmets off in front of other people. So I really don't know. I think they're going to explain it in this show. But I think that's why they lingered on it, because obviously we haven't seen him take his helmet off. No. Even as the conversation, I haven't taken my helmet off since I was a kid. This show
to eat in the morning.
And he said in front of someone.
He's such a smart ass.
In front of someone else, they haven't.
I love it though. He's a smart ass.
He is. But I do think that obviously, when we talk about this show, it did also reveal. I think the most recent episode was the one that revealed that he is not a true Mandalorian. He's not of the Mandalorian people. He was taken in after his planet was ravaged, or his village or town or whatever it was ravaged. His parents were killed. He was taken in, and he's adopted the Mandalorian way. Yeah. So he is not technically a true by blood Mandalorian, but he, you know, he's obviously a fanatic of their religion. You know, having been taken in by them and following this credo of leaving his helmet on and all that stuff. So,
so let me ask your opinion, because I saw this online.
Okay. All right.
We had all the Mandalorians come out in episode 2 or 3.
Episode 3
right?
At the end of episode 3. Yep.
Do you think they missed naming the big one Ham? Heavy Artillery Mandalorian. That's his name now. Is Ham.
No.
So there was a meme online. People are trying to push it. They wanted to be called Ham as Heavy Artillery Mandalorian. Nope.
Ham is clearly the character from Toy Story. And that's the only Ham I will recognize.
That's it. This is not Ham. It can't be Ham. I like it though. Did you ever think you were gonna see the ATRS or whatever?
ATST?
Yeah. Whatever it's called.
All-terrain scout transport?
Not very all-terrainy like.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Stopped it.
So I mean, yeah. I don't know that I don't know that I ever thought I would get a live-action Star Wars series. So once they announced that, these are iconic vehicles. Mm-hmm. So it's not that surprising that they would show up. Okay. It was kind of, obviously they didn't really explain how this kind of backwoods planet had one.
Yeah. That was odd.
I mean, I'm okay with it. And so, yeah, that was a cool scene. Like I said, I think I've liked all of the action. I like a lot of the characters of the show. It feels like the storyline is just kind of, like it's taking pauses. Like this episode felt like a pause. It didn't feel like it progressed the story. Yeah. And so, I'm sitting here going, if you're gonna, tell a limited series, I want every episode to matter. Yeah. And this episode just felt like it didn't matter. Now, I have a feeling we're gonna see characters from this episode show up again. Yeah. I think, the shock trooper is gonna show up again. Yeah. And so, we'll see that. But I don't know, like, this is a show that it appears is doing a, hey, here's a story of the week, and there's also the overarching story. Yeah. So maybe that's what it is, and maybe I just need to get that into that mindset, and then I'll enjoy it more. But this episode it felt more like filler to me.
It really did. I'll give you that. I mean, and there is a kind of a throwaway line where the Mandalorian and the shock trooper are sitting there talking. Oh, it's been a couple weeks since, the incident happened or whatever when they took it down. He makes that comment.
Yeah, so they've obviously been hanging out for a couple weeks in the village at that point.
And telling how long the training was for those other people. So he could have been there for...
Yeah, we got a sweet training montage.
Oh, yeah. And then I love how you have to have the goofy characters, though. Because those two goofy ones that were with the spear. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of agree.
The training montage.
Yeah. It was so typical, too, that kind of, episode, I guess.
Exactly.
So I enjoy it though, and like I say, I'm glad that it's out. I'm glad we're getting Baby Yoda. Yeah. I want my robot to come back, but he's dead because I want the guy to self-destruct all the time.
Yeah, we could still see IG-11. I think is what that one was. We could see him come back. I don't know that we will, but it could happen.
I miss him already.
All right.
So yeah, enough Mandalorian, so you can come back.
Spoilers over.
Yeah, spoilers are goodbye.
We're done talking about the Mandalorian, but we'll revisit it probably in our it ends right after Christmas, so we might have to shoot a separate video.
Yeah, it'll be a separate video, or
we'll talk about it
when we come back, one or the other.
Yeah.
So speaking of
last thing, as we wind down, as we say goodbye for the evening, Aaron.
What do you do?
We're getting ready, it's the end of 2019. Yeah. We've only got a couple more shows left this year. Yep. And so I wanted to ask you, and you don't have to pick just one. Yeah. But, what were some of your favorite geeky things that happened this decade? We've got 10 years, so all the way back to 2010. From 2010 onward, what are some of your favorite geeky things that happened this decade?
I barely remember what I did yesterday. So, well, I'm going to start with the most recent. I'm really enjoying Mandalorian. Okay. It's kind of gotten me to want to go watch some of the other Star Wars stuff. Okay. I would say in the last 10, though, for sure, Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Nice.
I mean, we got two great movies out of him so far. And now, thanking him for speaking to Bob Iger about getting the third one out there now.
I'm pretty sure this decade we saw 4 Spider-Man movies, because I think the first Andrew Garfield movie came out this decade, too. And so he got 2, and we got the 2. And so the second 2 have been much better than the first
2. You are right. Yeah. I mean, I like the Andrew Garfield, too, though. But, I really am liking Tom Holland. And we got Civil War. He was in Captain America Civil War. I forgot about that. So, yeah, he's been around already. I like that we have had him. Coming my movie stuff, my video game stuff. I'm actually really enjoying Outer Worlds, so I'm glad that came out this year. And I'm glad it wasn't a AAA game and it's still up for Game of the Year. Like, to me, that's a feat. Like, you got these big game publishers, EA, Bungie, Square, all these other ones, and you're not as big, and guess what? You already have a game that's a #1 contender. So I think that's amazing. But what about you? You've gotten a lot of Star Wars stuff in the last 10 years.
Well, yeah, so I would say when we talk geeky things of the decade, the big things that happened were the MCU truly becoming the MCU. Yeah. Right? Obviously, the first two movies of the MCU being Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk were released in 2008.
Yeah.
But then Iron Man 2 started in 2010, and we've had all of the rest of the MCU movies in this decade. So that is obviously a big one. Star Wars coming back. After Revenge of the Sith was released, I think in 2005, we didn't have any more Star Wars movies, and it didn't look like we were going to get any more for a while. And it wasn't until Disney purchased Lucasfilm.
So George was like, I need money.
That we... Well, he didn't need money. I think that, he was convinced.
Yeah.
But, Star Wars coming back, it's been hit or miss. I haven't loved everything that they've put out. But that feeling, for me, the first... When the prequels came out, when Phantom Menace came out, I was 11. And I was a little bit too old for the kiddie vibe of that movie. And then Attack of the Clones came out. I was like 14, and I was like, this movie's not good. By the time Revenge of the Sith came out, I was 17, and I was like, I am enjoying some of this. I still love the original Star Wars movies, but I never really felt the magic of seeing a Star Wars movie in the theater. And seeing The Force Awakens in theater, I remember going to see it, and I remember literally the first time I watched it, I was nervous the whole time. Like, watching the whole movie, I was just like, what if they Jar Jar this? Like, I was like, it was hard for me to enjoy the movie because I was like, what if they screw this up? And so what will always stand out to me is the second time I watched The Force Awakens, because I knew at that point they hadn't totally screwed it up.
Yeah.
I knew that I enjoyed the movie, and so I was able to go back in, watch a Star Wars movie on the big screen, and just enjoy the experience. Get my Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford and Luke Skywalker, and also the new characters. I really like the new characters. Yeah. I don't know that the stories they've told so far in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi have been my favorite Star Wars stories, but I really like the characters. So Star Wars coming back has been obviously a huge one. I'm such a huge Star Wars fan that was a major moment of this decade for me. And the Skywalker saga officially ending in this decade in just a couple of weeks.
Thank God.
I'm super excited for that. How dare you? But yeah, I mean, those are the two big things.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I would say really enjoyed a lot of the DC animated stuff, and specifically, I'm going to call out Under the Red Hood. I think is my favorite DC animated movie. It came out in 2010, so squeaks in to this decade.
Forgot about that.
I really like that movie. I think it's an excellent adaptation of a really cool comic line.
Yeah.
So definitely, that's one thing that stands out. Overall, I mean, it's been a hell of a decade for geeks.
Oh,
man.
yeah. This has been a good year for all of us that are geeks related. It's video games, comic books, movies. I mean, TV shows especially. You had Arrowverse started in this decade. Yep. It's wrapping up this year.
I mean, we had all the Netflix shows, Daredevil and Punisher, and
Hulu had Runaways.
Yeah,
and we have Disney Plus now.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., man.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Legion. Oh my gosh, we had a lot of shows.
So much geeky stuff that happened this decade. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, and what have you guys enjoyed the last 10 years? We've talked about ours, but I mean, gosh, you guys, hundreds of you, I'm sure, have loved different things that we didn't even touch on, probably.
What makes you geek?
Exactly. What makes you geek, and D&D, I know they've had 2 editions, I think, in the last 10 years. I believe, if I could be wrong on that, so if anyone plays D&D.
It feels like this decade has been the one that we've really, geeks and nerds have been more and more just embracing our geekiness, our nerdiness, being loud and proud about it, and being inclusive, being that environment where everybody can come and be part of, the fandom. I think that's something that I really am looking forward to continuing is just fandoms that are inclusive rather than exclusive. I never like it. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I love Star Wars. Somebody that's brand new and has never seen the originals, never seen the prequels, maybe got into Star Wars with The Force Awakens. Guess what? They're a Star Wars fan, and they're part of Star Wars fandom.
Exactly.
I don't need to like judge them. Oh, you haven't seen Empire Strikes Back. Well, maybe they will, and maybe they'll love it, and maybe they'll go back for it and go, you know what, this really is kind of dated. Maybe they will. Obviously, I grew up on it. I love it. It's my favorite. Mm-hmm. But not everyone has to. We can still be inclusive, even if we maybe disagree about the finer points. Let's all just enjoy each other and enjoy our geekiness. So I think this decade has really taken that step forward. I know I've embraced my inner geekiness in this decade more than I ever did before. So
I agree. I mean, my tattoo guy shows I got this like 3 years ago, so I think I've embraced it a lot more too.
Anyways, we've been talking a while. Yes. It's been a long show, longer than usual.
So I apologize for that.
But that's all right. I think we had some good discussions.
We did, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And again, sorry about the little video edit that we had or issue. I fixed it, but we're back up for all those who are live. Don't forget to listen to our podcast or recommend the podcast to anyone who didn't see us.
Yeah. Find us everywhere. Official GYGO.
Mm-hmm. And enjoy. And again, 2 more weeks, guys, and we're out for our first season. And Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have some Christmas ideas for everybody.
Maybe we will. So again, thank you guys, everybody, for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Especially, what did you think of Black Widow? What are you thinking of The Mandalorian? Let us know what makes you geek. Exactly. Let us know all about the last decade. What have been your favorite geeky things? I think, again, we talked about some things, but I'm sure there's a lot more that makes you geek. So
take it easy, guys.